Well, sticking with tech, Apple's first live stream event of the year, Peak Performance, is tomorrow, and rumors are already swirling about what could be announced. For more on this, let's bring in Yahoo Finance's Dan Howley. Dan, it's good to have you here with us. Help us break this down a little further. What's creating the most buzz regarding the phones?
Yeah, it looks like we're going to get a look at Apple's new iPhone SE. It would be the third generation of the SE. It's really the entry-level iPhone that Apple offers. Right now, the SE from the second generation starts at $399, or that was the original starting price for it. So look for something around there for this new generation SE. The design is probably going to look a little bit like the old school iPhone 8, where you have that finger ID or touch ID fingerprint sensor, those large bezels, not the edge-to-edge display that we have on the newer iPhones. The big deal here is that they will give 5G capabilities to this iPhone, as well as a new processor and new camera system. Now, the processor and camera system, great upgrades. 5G, now it's been kind of hit or miss, really. There's no must-have app for 5G at the moment. Anything that you can do on 4G, you can do on 5G and vice versa. If you want to do things like, downloading 4K movies super fast, that's where 5G kind of comes in, and game streaming, things along those lines. But, you can still pretty much do that on 4G. So if you still have an iPhone SE and you're happy with it, or an older iPhone and you're happy with it, and you don't really want 5G right this minute, then it's not necessarily a must-have upgrade. But outside of that, we're also expecting a new iPad as well as a new Mac. And it's interesting that they call this Peak Performance, PEAK, because, we're kind of looking to see what Apple has to do with their next generation of products, which could include the AR, VR headsets that the company has been rumored to be working on for some time.
Now, in the earnings call, the CEO, Tim Cook, highlighted the $6 billion loss in Q4 due to chip shortages and manufacturing disruptions in Southeast Asia. So what do we know about how that will affect the pricing for Apple's products going forward?
Yeah, it's interesting because we haven't seen any real changes to that just yet, right? This was something that's been going on for some time ahead of the launch of the iPhone 13, as well as Apple's other products. And the prices are essentially unchanged, save for maybe the entry-level iPhone mini, the iPhone 13 mini. I believe that increased by about $50 versus the iPhone 12 mini. So really not much to speak of as far as pricing movement as a result, seemingly, of that the ongoing chip crisis. It seemed to be more of the addition of things like 5G and improved displays. Apple really seemed to take it on the chin when it came to the iPad, which they ended up cannibalizing parts of, specifically the processor, to feed the line of iPhone 13s that went out. And so that's why we saw that kind of decrease in iPad sales revenue for Q1. And, I don't think that we're going to see anything as far as that Mac that we're expecting in terms of price increases or, some kind of weird price variability compared to prior generations. That's using essentially the same kind of technology as we see in the iPhone chip, as well as the iPad. It's Apple's own ARM-based processor, the M1. So we're expecting that. But, again, this could also be kind of a debut or perhaps even, an early look at their next generation chip, the M2. We're still not sure on that yet.
Dan, just briefly here as well, a report from Bloomberg hints that Apple is preparing the widest array of new hardware products in its history in the fall. What are you hearing about whether the best is yet to come?
Yeah, I mean, obviously the big news is that headset that I mentioned earlier. If that does actually come to market, it's expected to be priced pretty high at around $3,500 a headset. That's well more than something like Meta's Oculus headset, the Quest 2. And I don't expect that to be really a commercial or a consumer, rather, grade product. It seems like it's going to be more of a prototype that commercial users get into. And then maybe we'll see Apple roll it out to consumers in a less pricey version. But, it's going to be that. It's going to be, as I said, the M2 at some point, more Macs running on Apple's own chips, as well as the iPhone 14, which, I mean, we're expecting that to be the name. 3 potential Apple Watches, maybe new AirPods. I mean, they're really going to be rolling out a ton of products this year. So if you're a big Apple fan and you need the very latest products, your bank account's going to be taking quite a beating this year.
All right, Yahoo Finance's Tech DH, Dan Howley, joining us here this afternoon. We appreciate it, Dan. With all the updates on Apple, we'll be watching what the company rolls out tomorrow and even into the fall.